What's going on, guys? WhiteFox1225 here, and I'm snowed in, so I thought it'd be a perfect day to make a new ESO Saturday. And we got some news on the Thieves Guild DLC, not just the Thieves Guild, but all the things coming with the DLC. Things like the new additions to the crime system, new skills lines, new changes to the PvP, and the crown store, and all that good stuff. So let's just start off by talking about the zone. So the zone the Thieves Guild takes place in is called Thieves Bane, and it is in Abba's Landing, which is in Hammerfell, which is the home of the Red Guards. We knew that it was going to be in Abba's Landing, but we didn't know what the zone was going to be called, so there you go, it's called Thieves Bane. Also, the zone itself is going to have some zone bosses and delves. It's basically just going to be a regular Elder Scrolls Online zone, just it's also going to have the Thieves Guild main quest in it. So you can expect all the things you'd expect in another ESO zone, like the bosses, the delves, and some random events and all that good stuff. The story for the zone is the main Thieves Guild story, and it kind of follows the guild as it's in some trouble. They kind of messed up a heist, things went wrong, and now they're being hunted by a mercenary group called the Iron Whale, and you're coming in as a new recruit and you kind of have to restore the guild to its former reputation. Kind of sounds like Oblivion's Thieves Guild questline, which definitely is not a complaint. I really like that questline. It also sounds a little bit like Skyrim's and the whole restoring the guild. Overall, I'm really happy. It's kind of a traditional Elder Scrolls Thieves Guild questline, and I'm really excited to get in and just play through the story. Moving on, let's talk about some new features to the crime system. So there's some new criminal activities and things you can do that'll raise your bounty. So for example, there's now trespassing. Right now in ESO, if you go into someone's house, you don't get a bounty. You only get a bounty if you get caught stealing or pickpocketing. But now if you go into certain areas, you will get a bounty. For example, if you break into someone's house or you break into a place you're not supposed to be, you'll get a bounty just for doing that. Just like other Elder Scrolls games like Skyrim or Oblivion, that was the case there, and that's now going to be the case in ESO. There's going to be some mischief like forging and vandalism, things I'm guessing you have to do for the quest line in the Thieves Guild, and now if you get caught doing those things, you'll get a bounty. And then last up, we have the bounty pardons, which is basically the Thieves Guild using their connections to get rid of your bounty, so every once in a while, instead of having to pay your bounty to someone in the Outlaw Refuge, you'll just be able to go to the Thieves Guild, and they'll get rid of it for either a reduced price or free, I'm not sure, but probably one of those. Now let's move on and talk about the skill line that's going to come with the DLC. It's going to be Thieves Guild based, so kind of like the crime system skill line that came when the crime system was first introduced. It's going to be a skill line of passives. There's no active skills to put in your hotbar, but they're going to be passive abilities that make, crime and stealing easier. So for example, there's going to be some that let you get away from guards easier, or make it harder for you to be detected, or make your stealth better. One example of a skill they gave us was the skill Clemency, and that's the ability to kind of persuade your way out of a situation with a guard, so when you get caught you can kind of talk your way out of it, some of the time, not always. Moving on to the crown store, we have some unique costumes, motifs, and other like pets and things like that come in the crown store with the Thieves Guild. One really awesome thing that I noticed in the trailer, or actually noticed that other people noticed in the trailer, is the camel mount. So if you take nothing away from today's episode other than this, make sure you know there are camels coming to the Elder Scrolls Online, which I think is really great. You can see them on the screen. It just looks really great. At first when I saw the trailer I thought it was a horse, but then once someone mentioned it I looked closer and I could see it was actually a camel. The mount looks really great, and I'm super excited for it to be in the crown store. Other than that, I'm sure we'll get pets, and I'm sure we'll get the Thieves Guild armor motif, and just all other things Thieves Guild related, and maybe some that aren't, but those will all come when the DLC actually launches. The tagline for the DLC is "Play Dirty, Get Away Clean," which I thought was pretty cool that there's actually a slogan for this DLC, but nothing really to talk about there, just thought I'd mention that. Let's move on to the PvP. So I did mention a lot about PvP and talk about a lot of PvP news a couple days ago on that ESO Saturday, and I'll put a link in the description if you want to check that one out. We have two little things to mention. First off, there's going to be a non-champion point campaign coming to the game, and that's going to replace a current campaign. They don't know which one yet. But a non-champion point campaign is just one where, as the name would suggest, your champion points don't count at all, and that's just so maybe if you just started the game and you haven't earned any champion points, you don't have to hop in one where people are just going to dominate you. It's kind of like the same idea of a non-veteran rank campaign, but since veteran ranks are leaving the game, they have to replace them with these. So now there will be a non-champion point campaign that you can play in. Even if you have champion points, you can hop in it. Your just champion points will not count towards your stats when you're playing in Cyrodiil. Also, there's going to be a new traveling vendor where you can buy monster masks from them, and you can use either alliance points or gold. They're going to be a lot like the ones you can get from the Undaunted right now, except these are in PvP, and it's just so, you know, if you just play PvP, you can have a chance to get one of these cool masks too, so it's not just for PvE players. Moving on to a little bit of news for questing. So now once you hit veteran rank 1, you can do both of the other alliances that you aren't part of. You can do their main quest line and explore those zones, even if you haven't completed the main story, and you also don't have to do them in order now. So let's say I finished the Ebonheart Pact main story, or even if I just, you know, reached veteran rank 1 and I was part of the Ebonheart Pact, but I never even touched the main story, I just grinded to the veteran rank, you can now go explore the other zones and the other alliances. Either one, it doesn't matter, it just opens the game up completely, whereas before you had to do the linear, you know, progression through going through one zone and going through, you know, one story of an alliance and then the next one and then the next one. Now the game is completely open, which I think is really great, and it just makes Tamriel open more quicker, which is always a good thing for an Elder Scrolls game. And other than that, guys, it's just a little bit of news. The new trial will scale to the group leader just like the dungeons do right now. That's pretty much it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching as always. If you liked it, make sure you give it a like. We have some really cool things coming next week, like the Division beta. We also have some more ESO Saturdays when we get some more news. So if you want to see that, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you guys haven't entered the giveaway, make sure you go and do that because we'll have results pretty soon. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.